and my topic for today is the dark side of internet. I think we can all agree upon that internet is a fantastic invention that has made our lives so much easier in so many ways. But as with all the good things, there usually come with some bad things as well. And the internet has its downside. So the fact is that internet crime has increased rapidly during this past decade. And America has one of the highest rate of internet users and internet shoppers in the whole world. As a result of this, the #1 internet crime in the US today is credit card fraud. What is the reason for this? Well, firstly, people don't know enough about the internet, and secondly, they don't know how to protect themselves. And this is not the only issue. We also have the problems with hackers and different kinds of viruses as exist. You could say that the internet has become almost like a zoo, where there are all kinds of worms, viruses, parasites, and Trojan horses. Everything is in there that you need to be careful of. So do I think that we need to be more cautious? Yes. I think our privacy is really threatened here. The fact is that almost every site you visit nowadays stores some kind of information about you. So in my presentation today, I'm gonna show you some of the threats that exist, and I'm also trying to convince you that you need to be more cautious about this. And I will show you some ways that you can maybe protect yourself a little bit more against these threats. So, what are these threats that I'm talking about? I was became first aware of this a couple of years ago when I was talking to a friend of mine that you might consider a computer geek or a hacker. He was bragging about how easily he could get information out of anyone's computer. I didn't really believe him, so he said he'd show me. So the next day he took his laptop to school. He had installed some kind of software where he was able to actually see what everyone in school was doing on their computers. And even more, he put on a scan on this computer, and when we checked back on the computer after an hour, he had found passwords and usernames for over 50 of students' user accounts. Facebook accounts, mail accounts, like Gmail, even bank accounts information. Imagine what kind of damage this person could have done with this kind of information. But I don't think hackers is our biggest concerns, because there are quite a small group of hackers and they don't usually target us private users without any reason. A thing that concerns me even more is the increase of number of scams that's online at the moment. Different sites that you visit that try to convince you to donate money or to give away personal information about yourselves. This is something you should really be careful about, and be careful clicking yes or I agree on stuff that you're not 100% sure what you are agreeing upon. I don't know if you heard the word phishing with this comes from the word phishing, obviously. Phishing for information, you might have heard. Well, this is the same thing, but it's online now, that fraudsters are trying to get information about you, usually by sending out emails, requesting, maybe claiming to be your bank, and asking you to give out all your account information. Don't do this. Never turn out your information like that in an email, because it's not safe. And finally, if this wasn't enough, we have all kinds of viruses and parasites as well on the internet. According to Symantec, which is one of the biggest antivirus developers in the world, as much as 85% of all the personal computers are affected with some kind of virus. And if this wasn't enough, they found out in their study that these infected computers has as much as an average 24 viruses on their computer. That's a lot. Some of these viruses are completely they don't do any harm, but some others can really drastically affect your computer and make it work not as good as it should. As well, it could also leak out information about you. So I recommend that you buy antivirus software that will help you protect yourself. Okay, so you're probably asking now, what can I do to protect myself against these threats? Firstly, I'd recommend you have a strong password on every one of your accounts that you make online. A strong password is at least 8 characters long and uses both numbers and letters, preferably capital letters as well. Another thing you could do is set up your mailbox so that you don't get a lot of spam, because spam emails are usually the ones containing viruses, and you might accidentally click on one of these and then get infected. So be careful with these. Then make sure you have a firewall, make sure you have some kind of antivirus software, and make sure you have some kind of spyware software. If you don't know what all these are, ask a friend who knows, so that you get your computer properly secured. And make sure that you update these with almost every day, because new viruses are spreading all the time. So you have to really keep up to date with the viruses. And use your sense when it comes to going to different sites. Only use credible sites that you trust. If you see a site that you're not really sure what's going on here, don't click on anything, because chances are you get infected with something. When it comes to online shopping and banking, it's the same thing there. Use only sources that you trust, eBay, Amazon, Google, these kinds of companies you can trust, but don't leave out your credit card information to places where you might actually get your information stolen. Okay, so now I talked about different threats on the internet, and as well as how you can protect yourself. You learned about hackers, different scams and viruses that are out there. My intention with this speech was not to scare you away from the internet, because the internet is a wonderful resource for information. So I encourage you to use it. But be cautious, because you might get your personal information stolen, and the worst case scenario would be that your whole identity could be stolen. So think about that before clicking yes or I agree the next time, just because you want to get on with your life. This is usually what people do. But I assure you, even though usually it's no problem today, fraudsters will start taking advantage of people being naive and just agreeing to everything on the internet. Thank you.